Hi, but it's Jeff here. I just saw a post, another post about quantity versus quality on LinkedIn connections, and I want to comment on this. And this one specifically by Dana says, finding someone with 10,000 followers and that has 9,000 connections, that means that that person literally accepts every connection request they get. And I do. I do that, and for a reason. I'm going to explain why I do that. I don't accept, bankers from some countries or some gold traders and and Bitcoin traders. Those don't interest me, but pretty much everyone interests me, and that's why I want to explain the difference between quality and quantity on some types of social media. And LinkedIn actually had me interviewed 15 years ago as one of their top users, super users of LinkedIn in France because of this. And I talked in business magazines about using this for sales. Okay, it's really important for sales because salespeople, they need to have their prospect list, right? And so you buy all these databases and you need to send out letters and phone calls, make these cold calls. And you find out that half the people aren't even there anymore. Well, see, LinkedIn, everybody's there because it's their actual, where their location where they're at. So I connect with pretty much everyone that reaches out to me, and I ask people to connect with me. And the reason for that is because for each person that you get in your first level of connections, you tap into their second level of connections and the third level of connections. And back in the day, back in 15 years ago, there was a feature in there that you could actually see the number of first connections, second connection, third level connections. And I remember back then I had 5,500, that's 15 years ago, 5,500 connections, first level, which translated at the second level at the time. I don't have the screenshots here, but it was something in a few 100,000. And at the third level connections, it was, I believe, it was touching the million. Okay, that was 5,500 first level direct connections 15 years ago. Okay, that was in 2007, 2008. Now, today, I have 12,000 connections, getting close to 12,000. But the advantage, it's about the type of people that you're searching for in your connections. I got two types, okay? And I'm going to tell you how I do this. And I've used this for sales because then you get prospects. You can find people. I can find literally any person on this planet except for the people that want to be hidden, right? And I've been able to find my own colleagues in my own company faster using LinkedIn than using the Outlook the address book within Outlook in the company. Okay, that's the way it is. But the reason that I accept connections because 1/3 of my connections are recruiters, and recruiters are people that they live by having lots of connections. So if I do a little calculation, extrapolation, say that if I have 3,000 recruiters, between 3 and 4,000 recruiters, say 3,000 to be conservative here, and every one of them has between 10 and 20,000 connections, because that's what their job is actually having people that they can contact. So let's say this 10,000, be conservative. So 3,000 people with 10,000 connections each. Do the math of what my second level of connection is just for those 3,000 people. Okay? I'll let you do the math. And what's in my third level of connections through those people? So that's one example. Another thing is quality makes a difference. Quality of connections makes a difference if you're limited in your industry, you want to work in one field. I know a person that does this in automotive. They've reduced all their connections down to automotive only. And that makes better quality partners and all that. Great. But that's the only thing they want to do and the only one thing to focus on. Well, I've been doing multiple industries for 40 years now. But if I'm just in the software industry, and I've worked in many different software areas, I have I remember doing a workshop back in 2016 where I exported all of my connections and categorized them by industries that they're in. And then I started reaching out to people to actually attend 15 different workshops. And that was a really, really useful thing because they had indicated what field they're in, okay? But the advantage of having this type of network of, let's say, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 people, and tapping that network is that I can reach out and find people pretty much anywhere. And I did this for vacation. I'm going to be going to Canada here for 3 weeks. And I just look up who's in Toronto, who's in Quebec, who's in Montreal, and I look up all the people in my connections, say, hey, I want to meet, and while I'm on vacation. So, and I can find people immediately. And then, yeah, that person here. But the important thing here, too, is the spread, the coverage, because I can look up specific roles in specific locations and find everybody in a single organization or in multiple different organizations that have that role in that location, that city. Or I can look up anybody that in a company that is in some department, right? Marketing. I can find everybody if I have that many connections because I'm using the network to find those people up to the third level. Then I choose to reach out to that person. And you don't have to reach out through LinkedIn. I didn't even use the premium version. I don't need it because I can find their email address, right? So, or call. I can make a phone call. So the importance here is this whole debate over quality and quantity is kind of like this. It's looking at it as like you're trying to have personal relationships, which you're not. These are business things. You just have a network, people that you can actually contact. And at one point in time, I'm going to need that to find somebody to actually, and I'll tap into that at certain points of time. Now, that's the first thing. The second part of it is I've been reaching out to a lot of people and so I'm willing to connect to and certain groups now of high networkers. And the reason for that is I'm willing to set pretty much anywhere because I'm now able to get people that have smaller groups of people, of connections, but they're not in the locations or the organizations I'd normally have already. So that's going to spread out my coverage even more to different continents. I work in language and linguistics and translation and stuff, right? All these AI-based stuff and speech systems. I want to have people from every country, right? It doesn't matter what the language is, because I'm going to need some people. I'm going to be finding people to be able to participate in some speech data projects or some linguistics, corporate building kind of projects. I'm going to need people. So I need to be able to find them. And this touches every field and every domain for pretty much any of the 6,000 languages on the planet today. So among the 9 billion people. So this is interesting for me to have. So there are reasons to accept pretty much any connection. There are some I don't. That's limited, and I know my criteria for not accepting it. But it's going to expand my network and be able to reach out to find the people I'm looking for. And I do find them. It's I seldomly have problems finding someone that a name or a role that I'm looking for. If you don't have a large number of connections, or you don't have a significant kind of, you've got to reach a certain level to be able to use that to find people. And you either have to have, 25 people, each with 50,000 people each to do the same thing, but there aren't that many of those people. And they usually won't accept new connections because they already reached the 20,000 limit, right? So it's better to have those 3,000 people that each have 10,000 to reach the same level. Now, and some of these people, like in the recruitment thing, they're recruiters. They're gonna work in different fields. So if you've got a variety of recruiters across the 3,000 recruiters, they're gonna have different fields and interests they're specialized in. So that means I can touch a number of those domains, fields, sectors, industries, when you call them, and in different countries. And then I have the spread, the coverage that I want. So there are reasons to have this, and it's not a bad thing doing it, but it's intentional. I know I'm doing it, and it has value. And the proven value is that I've been able to set up partnerships and projects and things with people from many different countries on different continents for different platforms and different projects that are sold to a number of different industries for various reasons. And thanks to this network, I'm able to build up those projects. So thanks for listening.